I have been living on and off public land since 2018. BLM land, national forests, quiet stretches of desert nobody thinks twice about. It's given me peace, freedom, space to think. But lately, I've noticed something changing. The camps are more crowded. The trash is piling up. Rangers are showing up more often. What used to feel like open land is slowly turning into a place of rules, limits, and less freedom. And I don't think most people know this, but dispersed camping on public land is starting to disappear. Not all at once, but little by little. A few acres here, a 14-day limit there, a seasonal closure, a no camping sign where last year there was nothing. This video isn't just a warning, it's a message to my fellow nomads and anyone thinking about stepping into this lifestyle. We need to know what's happening, why it's happening, and what we can do about it before the freedom to live this way becomes a distant memory. Stick around, because I'm going to share real examples of BLM land getting shut down, what future restrictions could look like, and how we as a community might need to rethink where we go next. Now let's start with what dispersed camping actually is, and why BLM land has been such a lifeline for nomads like me. BLM stands for Bureau of Land Management. It oversees about 245 million acres of public land across the United States, mostly in the West, where I am now. This land isn't national park land or developed campgrounds. It's wild, open, and for decades, it's been available for what's called dispersed camping. That means you can camp for free outside of designated campgrounds as long as you follow a few rules. Stay limits, distance from water sources, pack out your trash. It's a low-cost, low-impact way of living close to nature. And for many of us, it's the only affordable housing left. For vehicle dwellers, BLM land has been essential. No rent, no landlords, no neighbors knocking on your door, just space and a little bit of peace. It's been the bedrock of van life, off-grid living, and the mobile lifestyle. But the reason I'm explaining this is because that freedom has always been kind of fragile. It's not a right, it's an allowance, and that allowance is starting to shrink. So let's talk about what's actually happening on the ground. Across the country, dispersed camping spots are quietly disappearing. Some are being shut down completely. Others are being hit with new restrictions, things like permit-only access, self-contained vehicle rules, or stay limits that are actually enforced for the first time in years. Let me give you some real-world examples. In Oregon, about 40 acres near Bend, land that used to be open to campers was recently closed by BLM. The reason? Overuse, trash, public complaints. The land is now off limits. In Utah, near Zion National Park, the BLM proposed closing down 30 long-time dispersed campsites with the goal of reclamation. That means restoring it to its natural state, even if people have been camping there for years. Sedona, Arizona, one of the most popular places for nomads and vanlifers, has seen widespread camping bans on public land. It's become so crowded, so abused, that entire areas are now closed, with rangers actively patrolling. Even temporary closures are growing more common. Races, fire risk, local pressure, they all add up. It's not theoretical anymore. It is happening right now. Now let's talk about why this is happening. First, the obvious one, overuse. The number of people camping on public land has exploded in the last few years. Some are nomads by choice, others by necessity. But the result is the same: more vehicles, more trash, more pressure on fragile environments. Second, wildfire risk. In places like California, Nevada, and Arizona, fire season hits harder every year, it seems. Agencies don't want open flames or even people parked in high-risk zones during peak conditions. That means seasonal closures or even full bans. Third, local communities. Some residents near public land, they're just fed up. They see long-term camping as a problem. Property values, sanitation, or just a clash of lifestyles. That pressure often leads local governments to push BLM or Forest Service offices to close down spots that used to be wide open. And lastly, politics. Public land isn't immune to lobbying. Sometimes it's tourism groups, sometimes it's mining or real estate or even environmental reclamation efforts. If someone wants that land to be used for something else, and they have the right connections, they might get their way. It is complicated, but the result is simple. Less access, more restrictions. So where does this go if we stay on the current path? Well, we'll probably see more permit systems, most likely. Areas that used to be free and open might now require online reservations or in-person check-ins, even for dispersed camping. That alone could change the game for people who rely on flexibility. We'll also see tighter enforcement of stay limits. The 14-day rule has always been there, but it was rarely enforced in a lot of the areas. Now rangers are checking plates, logging your time, and making sure you move on, or face fines. Some areas may restrict camping to self-contained vehicles only, no tents, no homemade rigs without a toilet system. That's already happening near Moab and other high-traffic zones. And then there's tech. I myself can see a future where they use geofencing or automated surveillance to monitor where people are parked, for how long, and if they're complying with stay limits. Sounds extreme, but to be honest, it's not that far off. Little by little, what used to be open land becomes a system of permissions, limits, and consequences. It's not that public land is going away, but the freedom to actually live on it might be. All right, so what can we actually do about it? First, awareness. Know the rules in the area you're camping. Every BLM field office has its own site with updates, closures, fire restrictions, new regulations. It's all public information, but most people just never look it up. Second, use your tools. Apps like Seeker, Crossroads, iOverlander, Campendium, they all have real-time reports from other travelers. If someone saw a new no camping sign or got moved by a ranger, you'll hear about it there first. Third, leave no trace. Come on, folks. This should be obvious by now, but it still isn't. If we want to keep this land open, we've got to respect it. That means no dumping, no long-term squatting, no trash, fires, or broken glass. We're guests out here. Fourth, advocacy. Support public land groups. Get involved in local meetings when land use is being discussed. And if you can't do that, at least stay informed. Even signing a petition can matter more than you think. We don't need to panic, but we do need to act with intention. Because if we don't, we'll be the ones they blame when the next spot gets shut down. Now here is where I'm going to shift gears a bit, because I don't just want to talk about what we're losing, I want to talk about what we could build. If public land keeps shrinking, we need to start thinking differently. What if we as nomads started creating our own alternative? A network of small, privately owned land parcels scattered across the country, shared by the community. Not corporate campgrounds, not RV parks, just clean, legal places to park and rest. Land for us, by us. This is the vision behind something I've started calling the Land Node Network. Imagine a nomad in Arizona owning an acre, another in New Mexico has a quarter lot, someone in Oregon has forest access. What if we could pool these resources, create a system of trusted shared nodes, places you can go if BLM land is off limits, overcrowded, or just not safe anymore? That's the idea behind Nomad Syndicate, my community on Discord, Reddit, and Facebook. It's not just a group chat, it's the early version of a tribe that moves but still belongs somewhere. If you want to be a part of building that, the links are in the description. So here's the truth. Public land gave birth to this lifestyle, but it might not sustain it forever. We're at a crossroads. Some people will ignore the signs until it's too late, but others will adapt. They'll get smarter, they'll get organized, and maybe, just maybe, they'll start building something better. If you're living this life, thinking about it, or care about keeping it alive, don't just scroll past. Leave a comment. Tell me what you're seeing out there. Have you noticed closures? Are rangers cracking down where you are? And if you want to be a part of the real solution, not just a Facebook group, but a network, a tribe, a movement, check out Nomad Syndicate. Discord, Reddit, Facebook, it's all in the description. Like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And if you're new here, subscribe, because this lifestyle is changing fast. And I plan to keep talking about it. Stay safe, stay aware, and stay wild. The future is mobile. The future is off-grid.